out.
Kitty cat.
Hang out.
There it goes.
Hang out.
Hello, kitty cat.
And we're live.
Hey!
Hey, we're a little late tonight. We got lost in a YouTube video. We were just watching a video by Watchtower Database. I want to start this stream out by giving like a quick shout out to Watchtower Database.
Oh yeah, he was doing a good episode on Batman.
They're great people, great channel. I've watched like a lot of their videos, and if you they're trying to get more subscribers. They're always like, hey, you know, if people supported us, we could like buy food.
Think of it this way: the top like 10 YouTubers make like about 10 million each. So just if you're already watching them, dedicate that time to someone else.
Yeah,
they'll be fine.
Yeah. Watchtower Database. They talk about the DCAU. And they're good if you like Batman.
The Batman animated series was just solid gold.
I started it and I never got through all of it, and then I started Superman, didn't get through all that, and then I got all these games and was like, I guess I'm gaming.
And then you'll okay. Aside from like, I would say aside from let's say one major flaw, the Batman and Harley Quinn movie was.
Is the flyer talking about the weird rapey one?
Yeah, because Harley was clearly stinky. But
look, man, if that situation had been reversed, people would be like, "Ew, Nightwing, what a creeper!" Like,
yeah,
it was weird. It was a weird thing.
It was awkward.
I didn't like it.
They should have fixed that in post.
Yeah.
But besides that, the weirdest thing is how like. When did it come out? Like 2016 or something?
Yeah, it was
like,
not long ago.
I saw the release date was 2016. I was like, wait, they made a Batman animated series movie like several years after the series.
Because why not?
But the voice acting, the musical score, the animation, the tone is all spot on. The only difference is, one, it's a movie, and two, it has a higher rating so they can say curse words.
Which is great.
I wonder if that partially inspired the Harley Quinn like show, where they were like, you know, this still has a market, like, and not in the same way, but as in they're like they saw Harley curse for the first time, and they're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, of course it does.
But like, it's, you know, that there's that one moment where it's like, why are you doing the, what is it? She was like a waitress or something. And it's like, why not go into your doctor degree? Or why not go back into psychiatry and stuff? And she's like, do you know how hard it is to get a job after you've been in prison? Like, even though I have a PhD in like psychology, it's no one's hiring me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough. Don't do crime, guys.
Also, if you're a hiring person, remember that people who were in prison, like, need jobs like anyone else. Yeah. They already did their time. Don't have them do more time just wandering around in society not getting a job because you don't trust them.
Yeah, then they'll just go right back to crime, and then they'll go right back to prison. And then
gotta get back into crime.
Gotta go back to crime because nobody's hiring me. But yeah, Watchtower Database. Go support them. Support them on YouTube. Support them on Patreon. Help them pay for their rent. Cause like
all that stuff.
They're great people.
We should no, I was gonna say we should make a Patreon for this channel, but like
I already have a Patreon.
What would we add to? I feel like we would do like bonus episodes.
I have like a
something.
Patreon thing set up. I like paste it onto all of in the description every time we upload to YouTube. I always I
set up a Patreon once.
I always pay link 3 things in the description every time I upload a video. I link from top to bottom the Twitch and the Patreon and the Twitter, even though. Like, the Patreon exists, so it's like, hey, here's where you could, like, support us if you wanted, but I don't know what we would do for, like, bonus content.
Yeah, like, I set up a Patreon, like, just unrelated, like, a long time back.
I also got, like, a bunch of videos uploaded.
It's like,
today.
if you, the thing about a Patreon is that I love the concept of having a thing that, like, people can get updates on and special stuff if they support it and stuff. The problem is me as a streamer, we're fairly consistent. But me as like just doing my own projects and stuff, I don't have enough focus.
Yeah.
Which is funny because all I'd have to do is like keep writing like updates on like what I'm up to. Because it'd be like, hey, I've been playing this video game and I made a little drawing about it, and it's kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
that's literally like what lots of people on Patreons do. Is they just like have a something neat that they want to share with people.
You should draw a banner for our channel.
Yeah.
By the way, I'd like to throw something out here. So we have like a different channel that we haven't been using that we're going to switch to when we're done with this game, and it's called People Orients.
Yeah,
We've dropped
which
that name a couple times.
I really like that name.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think
great name.
we sort of what is it? We sort of like workshopped it. And we're like, what would we call our fans? And it was like, well, I always say peeps, and it's like, well, what if our fans are our peeps and we're like Peopleorians,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Peopleorians as our collected name.
Yeah, People Orients. Yeah. We're all People Orients. But yeah, so we're gonna switch to that when we're done with this game. So if you find that I'm talking as if there are people that watch these streams. Nobody fucking watches our streams.
I love when one person shows up in our stream, shows up on the stream, and we're just like, oh,
We got a
it's
viewer!
amazing! They get so much attention.
Yeah, they do.
It becomes like a personal stream for one person.
Yeah. But yeah,
It's like
so
it's
if
like the stand-up comedian, and there's one person in the audience, and they're like, "All right, someone from the audience." Point at the one person in there. Yeah, hey, where are you from?
from Michigan.
Ah, yeah.
Oh.
You know, I've been there a couple times. I noticed I met the state bird there, the mosquito.
Yeah, yeah. What'd you think of him?
That's not even like the largest mosquito. Just compared to Arizona, all
Uh.
mosquitoes are massive.
Yeah, I'm really glad we live in Tucson. Like for one thing, the mountains. The mountains are just great.
Well, I
Every
think
time I'm in
my,
Phoenix,
my
I look
favorite
around and I'm
thing
like, how do you guys feel safe? Like a twister could just
I was
come
about to
barreling
say
through here,
I
and you
guess
couldn't do anything about it.
Tucson's a good place if you have asthma
I mean, I
and
don't.
or a big fear of
Yeah.
natural disasters.
It was an exaggeration. I don't think that twisters happen in Phoenix. I don't think we get
I
twisters in
don't
Arizona.
think so, but
But
there
like
basically
mountains,
there's
dude.
in the history of Tucson, I think there's only been two twisters ever, and they've only made a brief touchdown.
Yeah, I mean Arizona is great. Like comparatively, all we have to complain about is the weather. Like
Which is hot.
we're not getting crocodiles in our backyards or freaking twisters. We're not having to like go hide underground when natural
Well,
disasters
yeah,
happen.
but also like let's not. I was gonna say
Uh,
let's not bash on the Midwest. That's kind of where all our food comes from.
yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
bashing on them.
it turns out it's
was-
really great when you have large open spaces where you can like grow crops.
I'm not bashing on them. That was more of a hey, yeah, heat sucks, but like don't bitch too much because like you could
It's the
be dealing with
combination of
twisters.
factors. If you have
It's a
a mountain range,
combination
but
of
also
factors.
without too many like nearby like tectonic plates,
It's just
lips or
weird to
whatever.
me when I look around and there's not a giant mountain range.
If I recall correctly, Tucson has only had like a couple of. I mean, it's probably had more than a couple of earthquakes ever, but they're below the level that people can feel.
Yeah,
So they're like not even
yeah.
like unless you were like had like a pendulum or some kind of like seismic detector, like you wouldn't actually feel it through your shoes.
Yeah,
So it's because of the lack of like local tectonic plate like lips as well as the mountains that keep most of the
yeah.
consistent winds and stuff, and we're too far away from the coast to get like most of the hurricane forces. So the main thing is droughts, and I don't know, maybe actually, it's the one thing, the one killer that nobody talks about.
What?
The Tucson kill. No, it's just straight up the heat.
Yeah.
Like it's not just the heat; it's the combination of heat and hubris. There are far like it baffles me that like I think it was like it was like a year or so ago. It was like record heat for the summer, at least in like our state in particular or something, and people decided that would be a good time to go hiking, and like multiple people just died in the while hiking in the hills, and I'm like, just from like heat stroke and stuff. I'm like, why this time of year? This is the worst time. That's like, look how I
They
don't know,
just
because like
really want to
it's
go
not like
hiking.
it's a tragedy, but it's not like it's not like you
It
gotta
was preventable.
yeah
It was preventable.
it's not like you had to hike that
You
day.
could have just been like, oh, nope, too hot. Gonna stay home today.
Yeah, please. I
Don't go
mean,
hiking in the
look, it's
summer.
if it's why do you go out there on these days? Well, it's too hot for the mountain lion to get me. Mountain lion singular, just the one.
Just one. Uh,
We also got javelinas, and
yeah.
apparently I've only heard
Dude, I
legends.
saw javelina at a park once.
Really,
Yeah, I was there with my friend, and
my
we
little
were
bro
like,
saw javelinas in
yeah,
our
we were like on
just.
we were
Oh,
on the
sorry.
swing set, and there was a javelina just chilling like in the distance, and she was like, "Ah, hey, look, a javelina. That's a javelina." And I looked over and I was like, "What? Where?" Oh, javelina. And the javelina like looked at us and kind of like inched forward a little, and she was like, "We should get in the car." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, let's
Uh,
do that."
I love how I like javelinas are our own like local pig class build, like our subtype of pig,
Yeah.
and I like that pigs show up on like almost every continent and stuff. But javelinas, I've heard legends that you'll usually smell them before you see them, but that's
Uh,
only depending on the right weather.
yeah.
And my little brother actually saw some javelinas behind our backyard a while back. Because one of the quirks about Tucson, I don't know how common this is in like more like rainy states, but we have like a series of like artificial, like series of like canals basically that run through the city that are specifically for every monsoon. The water goes from all the streets into these things called washes that are just the big old canals, and that's
These things
as
called
opposed to
washes. Do other people not know what washes are?
well, when you think
Is that
about
just
it,
an Arizona
imagine
thing?
well, I don't know how common they are in like the wetter states because in a state where you have plenty of common amount of water, you just have regular rivers or
Huh.
canals. But the difference between a canal and a wash is that a wash is dry like over 90% of the year, and when it's wet, it's completely unsafe to bring a kayak in. Like it's the anti-Venice.
Anti-Venice.
Yeah. So
Um,
on plenty of sunny days, you can just walk down there, and it's dry, and it's got like some little like plants, maybe a
yeah,
lizard or whatever. But
yeah,
that's also where you'll occasionally, if you're during certain like parts of the times of the year, you'll find either someone walking their dog, or maybe a javelina, or a random dog,
yeah.
or maybe a whole bunch of little
Maybe a whole
javelinas.
bunch of dogs. But yeah,
Maybe a
so
whole bunch. I've never counted a bunch of dogs, thankfully.
uh,
I feel like that would startle me. If it were more than say with three or more dogs, I'd be like, ah, yes, this is actually a pack of dogs. This
yeah,
isn't like someone's dog and another dog.
yeah. But yeah. So to any of you few people that like watched our stream once, if you ever come back and are like, I wonder where they're at. We're on People Orients. After we get through with this game, we're gonna move over.
Yeah. Oh,
And
how should we spell that, by the way? It should be
oh, it's
peep
already
with
spelled
two
out.
e
It's
P. Oh, it's gonna be in the like the description or something.
I mean, well, yeah.
Put in the
I
episode
mean, I don't
description.
know how to put.
P
I
E E
don't think there
P.
is a description in Twitch, but it's
Hold
gonna
on.
be like PEEP. Okay, yeah, spell it out.
Peepor.
Oh,
Nope,
R.
no, hold on.
Peeporlorians?
Peepor Lord. PeepO. My brain's not working.
Lori.
Peep
It's
O
Lorian with an I.
Lorens.
Ians.
Ians.
Ians. Yeah.
Peep.
But yeah, go
Oh.
support Watchtower Database. They're
Go
awesome.
to Peopleorians. That's
Yeah,
where our episodes will be.
Yeah. Eventually, I'm gonna move this over to that too. But yeah. So anyway, let's back to the game. Uh,
Let me do this one. December to 6. Detention Cantor Visitor's room.
No.
No. Nah, I didn't do it right.
It's December 26 Detention Center Visitors what's that? Visitor.
December
Visitor? Visitor.
26
Visitor.
detention.
26.
Deteen.
D team.
We're trying. Well, I'm
It's
trying
the
to.
D team.
Trying to do. I'm trying to do that thing where it's like pronouncing things incorrectly.
Yeah. Incorrectly.
Campy bells. Rosasapapos.
Visitors. Uh.
Beverage. It's like, I have a refreshing beverage. Beverage.
Beverage. Maya!
Maya who? Maya haha.
Maya Maya. My
gotcha.
sister did it at the same time.
Hey, Nick, it's you.
Yes, it's me.
Wow, this room brings back memories of this room being exactly like this room.
That guy's just a fucking
They
cardboard
should put up
cutout.
they should put up something like a cat poster
It's
or
just
something.
a cardboard cutout. That's security. That's security, guys. Just a
He
cardboard
was working
cutout.
as he was cat, Mr. Cat Meow. He was working at a club, a front, of course, called the Cat and Poster.
What?
You haven't seen that Key and Peele skit?
No, but you made me think of Super Troopers.
It's a Key and Peele skit. You can cross that off your your Peopleorians bingo card.
I need to watch Key and Peele. Key and Peele? Key and Peele.
Key and Pell.
Kai and Peele.
Keegan and a pill.
Oh, dude, I just watched Sky High.
And?
This is funny. Like, I remember seeing it as a kid, so I've got a little nostalgic for it. But, yeah, it's,
I remember when I saw it as a kid, I was like, okay, I get like you could hide like the high school like somewhere high in the sky or something, but how does no one notice the school bus when it takes off?
yeah, that was something that I thought about. No, there was, so when the movie first started, I was like, okay, how are the parents not aware of the fact that he hasn't developed superpowers? Because isn't that a thing that you would like keep tabs on with your kid growing up? Either
Yeah,
they're just not
like
very
assumed.
involved.
They just kind of assumed that he had some level of superpower.
Yeah, like I don't feel like you guys are very involved in your kid's life if you don't know that he doesn't have superpowers.
And keep in mind, he saw Sky High. I have not seen Sky High recently.
Yeah.
So I'm not remembering.
Yeah.
The same.
And when he was in the inner sanctum, he was like, "Hey, I have a pool table," and I was like, that's cool, but like, why would you have a pool table in a room where you're not allowed to have anyone? Like, there's the wife. That's cool. I mean, I'd love playing
person
pool with my wife, but you know, sometimes you want to do a team thing. Sometimes you want to play pool with, I don't know, your friends.
Yeah, and if you complete like a really cool trick shot, you can't show anyone.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't even do it.
There's actually a scene where he's like doing the pull. He's like he like tries to hit the cue ball, and the cue ball just goes like the cue just like goes through the cue ball, just goes.
You know, I keep thinking of like the gag where like you're really bad at pool and it like and you just like what is it, dig up the turf that's on the billiard table, but that's a way better gag. Just going through the pool ball.
One time I was playing pool with some friends and one of them like hit the ball and it like jumped and flew off the table.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, I mean, you'd have to hit the ball like really low and really, really hard to get it to do that.
Also, I have big news.
What's your big news?
I beat Doom!
Yeah, my buddy
Holy
he beat
crap,
Doom.
that was a difficult game.
It's a difficult game.
I feel like maybe I'm just not good at games because I watched a review of Doom and this guy was like, yeah, I mean, you know, by the time that I got to like this next batch of Barons, it was pretty standard, so I was just like, oh, I guess I'll just use my training from like 5 minutes ago when I beat up a bunch of other of you. And I just killed him and then I went about my business and I was like, am I just bad at games? Because like I had a super difficult time in this game.
That's the funniest thing about Doom is how what's that thing called where the story and the gameplay feel different?
I didn't know that was a thing.
Ludonarrative dissonance. For instance, like I remember seeing the first time I saw that was in an article where someone's like, "Yeah, in the GTA, and when I was playing GTA, I was really bad at driving, so it always felt funny that I was like such a badass during cinematics, and then I'm like, all right, getting on my motorcycle and crashing into a wall." Which I do a lot.
Yeah,
Motorcycle. I would love for them to make a vehicle for GTA Online that's just a good motorcycle that like has more car-like physics.
that's why I'm really glad that like Days Gone exists, because Days Gone is the only game where I've like ridden a bike and felt like, yes, this is how a bike should control in a
Oh,
video game.
definitely. Well, that's the thing is that
It's
once you
so
see
good.
when you play a game that's dedicated to that thing, you realize like just how precise it should feel.
Yeah,
Like Days Gone really makes the motorcycle have just the right amount of motorcycle physics.
yeah,
In the
my
same way that like if you're playing Red Dead 2 and you switch from that to like a game where like horses are more of an afterthought,
yeah.
then you jump on a horse and you're like this feels all wrong. Its turn radius is weird and its acceleration feels weird and it can't jump the same way.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, by the time I beat Days Gone, I had enough fuel to like go through the entire map twice. Like I didn't even worry about fuel anymore. I was like, oh hey, I'm at Tucker's camp because for some reason I need to be here, and then I like went all the way back to Diamond Lake and was like, yep, this is I don't have to worry about fuel anymore. It was awesome. What are you doing?
Speaking of fuel, I was making sure that my scooter was plugged in.
Good call. But yeah, Doom is great. It's a very fun game.
Oh, right. No, back to my point about ludonarrative dissonance. It's where
It's where Doom guy's like, oh yeah, he's such a badass Doom Slayer, and then
and
you play it
yet
and
the
you're
game
dying
is
constantly.
difficult, and yet the game is super difficult, which means that like for you to be Doom guy, you have to be extremely good at the game. And when you start out, you'll just feel like a big doofus.
Yeah.
Now, see, which is why I like when games are like I love when games like put more tools in that let you like bridge the gap between your skill and the skill of the character in question.
Yeah.
Because like if I'm playing GTA and I'm just using free aim as Michael, I'm gonna miss everything, which I'm like it kind of feels awkward that like Michael is supposed to be like the trigger man of the group, but like I gotta have the the aim assist on to actually feel like I'm supposed to be that character.
Right, right. Dude, Doom would probably be a lot easier if there was an aim assist.
It's the same
Unless there
principle with
was one and I just never had it turned on.
it's actually the same principle with the other characters. Like uh the fact that Franklin's like car driving skills goes into just like straight up like breaking physics.
Well, yeah, well that's why you got like the little power up thingies where like they can both slow time, but with Michael it's when he's shooting things, and with Franklin it's in a
When he's
vehicle.
driving. And it's
Yeah.
interesting
And then
because
there's Trevor who
it's
just
not just
goes all
slowing.
berserk
It doesn't
rager.
just slow down time for Franklin, because I tested it a bunch and it slows down time and it increases the traction of your vehicle by a crazy amount to where you can take turns that would be physically just impossible for that car.
Yeah.
Which is what I love because it feels like you're going from like it's it's basically like Franklin. I imagine Franklin's doing is basically doing the Neoscum Dak Rambo thing, where he's like, I have become one with the vehicle, and the vehicle has my face on the front of it, and then I start driving, and I can take these crazy turns.
What's that from?
Neoscum.
Oh.
He one of Dak Rambo is a trucker, and one of his powers that he doesn't get to use very often because as much as he does trucking, they don't do a lot of battles and stuff while they're in the truck in the later seasons.
Huh.
But one of his powers is like vehicle empathy, where in dire situations he can become one with the truck, where he controls all of the little details of the truck, which gives it just like better overall stats and traction and such. So
Right.
he could like take turns that he couldn't normally make in a big rig.
Huh.
Which is
Crazy.
exactly how I feel when I'm Franklin in a big rig, and I'm like, oh, I need to make this 90-degree turn. Whoop.
Well, and with that story in mind, watch the new Harley Quinn episode because there's a thing with a person that turns into a car. That's a thing that happens in Harley Quinn.
They steal that. I was gonna say,
I don't know if it's still from some,
look, I
probably.
gave you the power to turn into a car. I didn't tell you until now.
Oh, dude,
Just cuts to
dude,
Morgana from Persona 5.
dude,
Yeah, apparently I can turn into a
I
car.
just got done finishing the new season of Rick and Morty, and
I
there's that
have
one where
not.
he like comes into a room and he's just like lab coat, rip off Doctor Strange, and the lab coat just like comes
Oh yeah,
off of him and strangles the guy.
yeah.
And
Lab coat, rip off Doctor Strange.
anyway, read your line.
You know, occasionally he remembers all the tools that he has.
Yeah, right.
I'm glad Mr. Edgeworth made it through the day okay. It's a relief.
Hey, why do you do that anyway?
Mm, I don't know. I just knew I had to do something. I know I'm not the lawyer my sister was.
I mean, you're not a lawyer at all, but
I'm not a lawyer at all. I
those-
didn't spec into
that
lawyer.
was but that was pretty cool what you did. So you know.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine, Maya. Well, you did save the trial. Just behave from now on, okay? Unless the trial needs saving again, and then all the rules go out the window.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was more of an independent strike system, not like an overall trial system. So I figured I'd just have more leeway the next time around.
Yeah.
Like they started up, and it's like, look, in dangerous situations, I can shout. They'll send me out of the court, and then you can do whatever you need to do.
Right.
I'm your ace in the hole in this situation. I'm the wild card.
Wild card.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, so is she in the detention center now? Why?
I don't know why we met back. Oh, because that's where they're holding. That's where they're holding my after the when she was sent. I guess she couldn't wait in the waiting room, so they had to hold her in the holding cell.
Well, that's dumb.
Yeah. It's kind of high security for a waiting room.
Yeah. Questioning. Have you been questioned yet?
No, not yet. I imagine they don't really have that many questions.
Who are you, comrade? Question. I didn't get it. My sister just came in when I read that line, and she was like, "Who are you, comrade?" Question, which is from Archer, if you don't remember that.
I made brownies. I forgot to make brownies.
No, it was a brownie. It was a waffle.
Yeah.
Who want waffle?
Waffles, I forgot.
I forgot to make. Pulls up the lid off of the silver tray, whatever. I
There's
forgot.
nothing funny there.
It's just like butter and syrup. I forgot to make. I forgot to make a waffle.
That's a good gag.
Man, I love Archer. It's so good.
I did. Detective Gunshoe. Detective Gunshoe.
Detective Gunshoe. He's got guns that come out of his shoes.
Detective Gumshoe is just here now. Was just here now. Here just now.
You alright there, Ma? You need some water?
He said, seeing as this is your first offense, we'll let you go after questioning. No one's asked any questions, so I guess I'm just stuck in a limbo loophole.
Just stuck in a limbo right
Oh,
now.
you wanted me to get bail money ready. You can pay for me, okay? You got that lawyer money?
I mean, I guess monks probably wouldn't have a lot of money, huh? Huh? How much?
I don't know, I guess, like, they'll send you a bill or something.
Why do I picture giant bales of money every time I hear the word bail?
You pay a bail of money.
It's just like a bale of hay, except
I'd like to pay with this, and it's just a giant golden lighter.
Instead of hay, it's just money. Oh yeah, the golden lighter. Hey, Grossberg, what's up?
How did you get this? It was a gift from Grossman's.
You go into Grossberg's office and strike up a conversation, and, like, while you're talking to him, you're like in front of the table thing, and you just like pick up the lighter behind your back. Like, oh, well, this was a great conversation. Thank you for the enlightening conversation. Take off. It's like, where's my lighter?
I like this lighter, but do you have one that's a little lighter?
It was made of gold and dipped in diamonds.
Dipped in diamonds.
Yeah, that's from no, it was from 12 Ounce Mouse. It was like, what was it, a flute or a harmonica or something? It was some kind of like instrument. And it was like dipped in gold and then like... Are you telling me to push the
I don't
button?
have any
Is that
buttons.
what you're doing?
You should just give me the controller.
Boy, if I was ready to push the button, I'd be pushing the button. I'm in the
Yeah.
middle of a sentence right now, so obviously I'm not
Please.
ready to push the button.
Please.
No. Tell me what to do. Any luck with Wait, oh, Mia! She's my sister's Mia. I was confused for a minute. I can't... Why do you have to have such similar names? Why couldn't you have been like... Why couldn't her name have been Mia and your name have been like Fiona or something?
Names,
like...
our parents were Tolkien fans, and they really want to do that like dumb thing where all the siblings have similar names.
That's so dumb. Hi!
And my son, I'm... this is my son, Robin, and his brother, Bobbin.
Hi, I'm Officer Jenny. This is my first cousin twice removed, Officer Jenny, who looks exactly like I do. It's weird that all the Jennies and Joys in Pokemon are all just clones of each other.
You know, that was my theory, that they actually were clones. The thing is, in the Sun and Moon series, they don't really expand on that, but they do establish that, like, they're not all siblings. There's some of them are like cousins and stuff, but they still look the same except for like something that's on their hat. Each of them have like a different hat symbol thing.
I look nothing like my cousin. My cousin's Mexican. He's got that brown skin.
Yeah, I imagine you two don't not look very much alike.
No, not really.
But what was it? But the ongoing gag in Sun and Moon is that every time they talk about, they're like, Nurse Joy, you look so much like your sister. And she'll be like, yeah, but I'm way prettier than they are, or I'm not as pretty as they are, or I'm way more interesting than my sister
And it's like
from whatever town.
You guys are all exactly the same person.
The most I felt for the Clone Saga was a total side bit where it cuts to, at the end of an episode, it cuts to Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny, who are in the this little like bar that's run by a oranguru, which is just like, imagine an orangutan that's also kind of a guru.
Huh.
And it just serves fruit juice because of course it does. And they're talking about like their Pokemon like companions, or it's like, yeah, my what's it called, the whatever guy thing that works with me, he's always like things like he's a real detective or something, but no, he's a detective themed Pokemon. Not exactly that, but like but like I was like, wow, that's the like most amount of character work I've ever seen with these characters. It was a really good moment.
Oh man. Any luck with Mia?
None. I can't get through to her at all. You know what I've never seen in a Pokemon episode?
What?
No one's ever been busy doing something at the beginning of a scene.
Huh.
Or as in, like, no one's ever been, like, on the hook of another quest, you know? Like, it would be interesting to be like, we'll go visit blah and see if he can help us with the recycling plant or something. And they go there and he's like, yeah, I'll have it in a few days. Yeah, no, I got I've loaded the truck. We'll have the carpentry stuff moved over there. Oh, hi, Ash. Yeah, I gotta go. Bye. Like, I've never seen that happen.
It's almost like...
And it would be really good, like, background stuff to just lead up into.
It's almost as if they all just kind of stop existing when Ash isn't with them.
Except for Kukui, who leads a secret life.
Who's Kukui?
Professor Kukui. He's one of the professors in the Alola region, and he's very cool. And it's I love how in the episode where a sickness is going around town, they can tell that Kukui isn't feeling well because it's the first time he's worn a shirt. He wears like swim trunks and like a hat and glasses, but he's got swim trunks and then a lab coat over that. But he never wears a shirt unless he's not feeling well.
Huh.
Because it's the Alola region and it's just constantly warm. And the lab coat really just brings it all together.
Huh. Your line.
I tried. I really did. I don't know what to do. I think I need some candles.
I think I need a waterfall. Just a big waterfall.
Yeah, I need a waterfall, some candles.
No, what I need is steaks.
I need...
But
hold
what
on.
I need is
forget
just
the bail. I need at least, like, $2,000 in candles.
No, she just needs, like, a bale of...
Spend less on candles.
Huh.
Spend less on candles.
Spend less on candles.
No.
Oh.
Apparently Lou Jackson's not familiar with that joke.
No, I'm not.
I need help budgeting. Here's what I got, and it's like 300 rent, 300 foods, 2,000 scented candles, 300 utilities. Spend less on candles. No.
No. That's me, but with games.
Yeah, I've been kind of a big dummy lately, where I'm like, ooh, I have. Well, it's kind of been my thing where it's like.
Oh, hang on, real quick. If anyone like pops into the stream and isn't aware of this, there's like a Far Cry New Dawn Ultimate Edition that normally goes for like $140 on PlayStation. It's on sale for like $40 right now and includes the third game.
Bro, this is gonna be
It's the third game and the fifth game
Far Cry
in New Dawn.
3, I believe, and Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
And it's not just Far Cry 5; it's like the Gold Edition or whatever. But yeah, it's
like
kind of crazy.
It's like it's like 3 of the Far Cry
Which,
games,
by the way,
and like all their DLCs.
I feel bad for like folks who like watch this later on, and it's gonna be after the sale. This will just be a time capsule.
Oh yeah, like
that one glorious day.
Yeah, like I don't know if these streams are dated
by the way,
or anything, but like.
Dude, I really gotta hold off until sales and stuff because like every game that I've had.
It just occurred to me that this episode might not be on YouTube for like I've been uploading videos like crazy today, but like if this episode isn't like on YouTube by next week or like 2 weeks from now,
every other day, then
people are gonna be like, no, it's not.
Day.
What?
We stream like almost every other day. We stream 4 times a week. All you gotta do is upload like once every day at least.
Yeah, well, I want to get all of them up and going because I went and uploaded like 5 or 6 episodes today because of how far behind I am on them. And tomorrow I'm going to spend the day trying to upload more and more videos because I've been really behind on this, and I want all of them to be on YouTube so that I'm not behind anymore. Then I can just like.
And then I can watch them in sequence.
Yeah, and then you're in charge of organizing them. When I have all of them uploaded, I'll figure out like what chapters start on whatever episode, and then I'll send that to you, and then you can index them. And
this week, I suppose.
Yeah, and then your thing was to advertise.
Yeah, I was designing a flyer thing with like a little QR code that you can scan.
Yeah. But yeah, if this episode doesn't get on YouTube until like after the sale ends, then just disregard it entirely.
By the way, I felt very silly because I was like, oh yeah, I have money so I can get games, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get like Far Cry 5, and I bought it at full price, and then then I realized, oh, there's a sale.
There's a sale.
It wasn't even. Well, you know what's weird though? That sale wasn't even like advertised and like featured. Well, I think it was like a couple days ago, but now it's not.
I've never seen any of the sales in the PlayStation Store get advertised anywhere. It's just you check into the store and it's like, oh hey, there's things on sale. And it's not that anyone tells you. You just go to a game and you see that it's on sale. And it's like, oh, neat.
Usually there's various like sale tabs, you know, or like stuff that's in featured where it's like, oh, there's a sale for whatever going on. Usually it's like a genre
I've never seen any of those, like ever.
Yeah, well, I've seen them a few times before, but the weirdest thing is that like it wasn't on the featured thing, which feels especially weird because normally like the thing about did they accidentally like discount it too much and they're like, oh no, we're gonna lose money on this deal, we need to hide it. We can't go back on it though.
Oh no.
I feel kind of good about it though because it means that I can like get all the stuffs. It's funny, I played Far Cry 3 and 4 and Blood Dragon and Primal, but all on PC. So now I'm finally getting around to playing them on the PS4.
I just really want to play the third one because that's like the most iconic one that I'm aware of. Because like whenever I hear about Far Cry, people are always like, Voss from the third game, and I'm like, I gotta play this game.
I think it's like kind of representative of the Far Cry. I mean, it's pretty much the first in the Far Cry as most people know it.
It's kind of like how like Ezio is sort of the definitive figure of Assassin's Creed, and like I think Marcus Holloway is probably the definitive figure of Watch Dogs now.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like if Altair, if Aiden Pierce is like the Altair of Watch Dogs, then Marcus Holloway is like the Ezio.
No, that makes sense. I was gonna say that's man, I really want them to port Alan Wake to PS4.
Port Alan Wake to PS4 so we can play it. Please.
Why are you shouting? You don't even know why.
Well, I know that Control has like that Alan Wake Easter egg.
It's got
because
Alan Wake. It's got.
I've yet to play Control, but I want to play Control and I want to play Alan Wake.
It's funny because they're like, oh, it's got an Alan Wake Easter egg, and it's like it's more than that. It's in the same universe.
Yeah.
It's like throughout multiple documents. There's at least like 4 documents and one like encounter that all focus around Alan Wake. The Alan Wake as a character, Bright Falls as a location, and specifically Alan Wake doing something in Bright Falls and it being supernatural.
I only know about that because of Outside Xbox or Extra or fucking whichever one it was. I can never remember.
Yeah, but
I can never remember which one's which, but they're both awesome.
By the way, that reminds me, if there would be a lot more PlayStation like little updates and stuff on my personal account. But I've been playing Persona 5, which everyone at home who's got Persona 5 on PS4 would know. The entire game is blocked from PS4 share.
Yeah,
the entire there isn't. I mentioned in the last episode that like only the starting menu like lets you record it. So if I see something interesting, I've literally just taken a picture with my phone of my screen. I like send it
like
to you,
a barbarian.
and you can like see the pixels on the screen, you know,
like a Neanderthal.
You know, like a smart person would do. Man, I'm recording this game. I'm taking a video of it with my phone. Far Cry Primal. That's how I feel. It's 10,000 BC, and I'm taking screenshots of my computer. Okay. I think I probably shouldn't have stopped my training.
Probably not. Well, I mean, when you don't have any waterfalls to access.
Yeah,
she sounds like she really did do her best. Did you not believe her?
Did you not believe?
I didn't believe her until just now. Now I am entirely convinced that she absolutely tried her damnedest. Before I thought she was just being a nut.
Just ads that Maya gets. Cold waterfalls in your area.
Get out fast travel while cold waterfalls are in your area.
He gets a lot of those ads for like cool looking cloaks, but they're all like monk robes. Ruby themed monk robes. Kingdom Hearts themed monk robes.
Dude, I'd totally buy a Kingdom Hearts themed monk robe. If I was a monk.
Let's just bring monk robes into vogue.
Just make monk robes a normal fashion. I should check and see if there are any waterfalls in the local area.
I wonder if I'll ever get to see my sister again. The line was a lot sadder than I was ready for. I told you about the Marvel multiverse thing, right? It was in She-Hulk, and it was the end of an arc where basically a bunch of people from another universe were becoming universe tourists by going to the Marvel's universe and just kind of wandering around.
Yeah.
And one of the things they did was like synchronize with their superpowers, so they're like, aha, you might have superpowers in another world, and if you do, you can synchronize with them, and now you have superpowers. Whee! And so they're all being like sent back because of all the shenanigans.
That was the She-Hulk that hooked up with Juggernaut.
Yes, and that was also the She-Hulk that hooked up with Juggernaut. So
did you have sex with Juggernaut? Yeah.
Snort. Yeah. Yeah, that's the now. So they're all headed back to the Alpha Universe. You might be wondering, why is it called the Alpha Universe, not the Beta Universe? Because they got to name it. So they're headed back to the Alpha Universe, and they're like, all right, tourists, everybody get back this way. The Department of like time and space repair is taking this over, and we're getting a little. There's way too many counts of fraud and shenanigans.
You said
so they're all waiting in line to go back through like the scanners and stuff and head back into their Alpha Universe. Hold on, you're ruining my story.
Okay, but I have a thing.
You have to hold on to that thing because my story is coming to a conclusion.
Bruh.
It's a complete story.
It's a complete story, but what I was gonna say,
what were you gonna say?
Was when you talked about the time people or whatever, it made me think of the guys from Rick and Morty. The weird testicle-headed people who are like, you don't fuck with time. You don't fuck with time and they punch you.
That does not add, that doesn't add to my story.
Well, that's what it made me think of, and I felt like sharing that.
Okay. Well,
finish your story.
So,
how does your story end?
So they're all.
What happens next? I'm
really
sorry. I'm sorry. Continue.
So they're all. So there's a whole bunch of people waiting in line, and they're like, "Everybody, head back to your Alpha universe." And one of them, who's like in a superhero costume, I mean, a lot of them are. One of them in a superhero costume was like, "I just wanted to go to a universe where my parents were alive."
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
you told me about that.
That's
sad. December 26th, right? Written Cobb Lab Ophices. Sure is quiet here with nobody around. Right. I have to get my out of the tent. Out of that.
Let's get something loud, like a yogurt machine.
Probably have to go to the criminal affairs department.
Instead of the ambient music, you go to the office. There's just a big yogurt machine, just.
Just making froyo.
Shout out to people who know how loud yogurt machines are.
Yeah, they're pretty loud. December 26th, Poliki Department Criminal.
I think we should do that gag, like, less. We can do that every time there's a time named, because that's for the court things. Otherwise, you're just doing it every time we go to a new location.
Detective Gumshoe's not here.
Gumshoe's at the scene again today.
Huh? Oh, really?
He's live wire, that one. Gone into a fight with the chief for not following protocol.
He punched a chief in the face and they sent him to Mars. It was an actual backstory for one of the iterations of Doomguy in a different game. He got sent there because he punched a superior officer in the face.
You see, he did a good job cleaning up the place, but his bosses didn't like him, so they shot him into space. Now we'll send him cheesy movies, the worst that we can find. He has to sit and watch them all, and we'll monitor his mind.
It's just slowly going insane. But what if it turns out...
Well, you might be wondering how he eats and breathes, and other science facts.
Yeah.
Just repeat to yourself, this is just a show. You really should relax. Alright, that's a new thing on the bingo. Mystery Science Theater 3000.
She blinded me with science. I've never seen those, like any of them.
They vary a lot in quality, so it's important to find one that's like that the fans will like point out and be like, this one's spicy. The thing is, Mystery Science Theater 3000 often has a ton of like references to stuff that was like way before my time, but it occasionally like just like is hilarious in a timeless way where it's just like just closing a weird looking helmet. There, glad I don't look stupid in this. Or like some of the bits that like Linkara uses multiple times where it's like space is warped and time is bendable.
Not following protocol?
Activating the shields. Suddenly I feel imbued with some sort of minty flavor.
Minty flavor? What? I bet he wouldn't help them build the case against Edgeworth. Yeah, probably. So does that mean we have to go find Gumshoe in order to get...
Yeah, he's got to be at the lake.
Yeah, probably. December 26th, Gord Lake Pork and
Maybe we can ask him for $1 bazillion. I don't know.
Hey, can I have like a bazillion dollars? It's just cuts to Dr. Evil.
I don't know.
I require $1 bazillion. Y'all can't see it, but I'm doing like the Dr. Evil.
Now I'm just
thing
imagining you know how on a check it has to have the number written out as a number and a number written out like phonetically or like with letters.
Yeah.
That, and it says like 1 bazillion and then the number is like 1 and then some question marks. That's just on the check.
There are fewer than there are fewer than there were yesterday, but the cops are still around in the park. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe is here today. Well, I sure as shit don't see him, so let's go further in.
No.
What? Or should I
you can move further into the lake. Or the park.
That's what I was gonna do.
Oh, okay. I thought we were...
No, I was gonna go deeper. Don't take that out of context.
We need to go deeper.
We need to go deeper into the
multi-layers, multiple layers into the.
multiple layers of
You know, it's kind of
universe.
funny when you think about it.
Your
That like
face.
that the Inception movie would actually be a lot cooler if like it didn't try to be, or what's the word? It had a bunch of interesting like effects and stuff, but not nearly enough of it had anything to do with the concept of like dream logic and Inception.
Huh.
Like if you look at the movie Inception, it has more to do with or it has more like perspective tricks and stuff that implies that it's the world of the world inside your brain is more about camera tricks and cinematography than dream physics. Like dream physics would have been way, or dream not logic would be way better. Where it's like, yeah, we need to get to this next room. Yeah, we just and we'll just push this wall like clay, and then it'll just move out of the way.
I think I was still in high school when that movie came out.
Yeah, and
I think
it's
Inception was weird. It was one of those movies that like my sister took me to see it when I was when I was still in high school, but like I didn't follow it like at all. Like
look,
I watched it, but I didn't.
I can
I guess I wasn't really invested in it at all, so I don't really remember
I
any of
could
it.
easily you could easily imagine Inception being a movie that's like Inception is sort of like the Matrix 2 of Inceptions. In that like it has a really cool concept behind it, but like it's like the it's like they forgot what Inception was supposed to be because they established it in the movie. They just don't like lean on it as an effect. They're like messing with gravity and stuff, and it's like, nah. There should have been more sequences where it's like they're chasing the bad guy, but none of them are gaining any distance or losing any distance. They're just right there, and they keep running down this hallway that keeps getting longer.
That's crazy.
Well, no, this isn't like the dream sort of thing.
Yeah. That's crazy. You're crazy. Nah, Inception was a movie that I like sat through and didn't absorb any of it at all. Like have you like you remember back in school when you had to like read a book
Well, hold
and you
on.
would
No,
like
that was a Spawn
just
movie.
let me yeah no let me finish. You remember when back when you were in high school and you had to read a book for class and you could like read the same line 5 different times and have to keep rereading it because you just weren't absorbing it like at all.
Mm, a little bit, yeah.
That's what Inception was for me.
Which is funny because like I remember that I read a bunch of books that like that like I had some level of like appreciation for. I don't remember enough about the. I remember them more as like themes and like what they were trying to do than the exact like what actually happened. For instance, like I remember that Catcher in the Rye had a main character that was just kind of a jerk, but everyone else was kind of more of a jerk, and he was just kind of lost in life and had a very informal tone. And every time you ask like someone in your literature class, including the teacher, hey, what's up with Catcher in the Rye? They're like, ah, yes, Catcher in the Rye was all about this guy with like an informal tone that really reflects through the writing. It's like, yeah, but it's not that interesting. But I guess it's. Do you think it's like do you think like it's an old timey movie kind of deal where the first person to read Catcher in the Rye was like, whoa,
Probably.
this kid's going on an adventure.
Probably.
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen Larry around today at all. Probably off paying through the nose on a date with the lovely Kiance, who's just using him, probably. Just like the model that
What's
was
your
killed
name?
was
And
just
she just like
using
looks
him.
over his shoulder at like a jewelry advertisement. It's like, get something for your fiance. Kiance.
Kiance. Larry.
So I dedicated this bar to the woman I loved. She Dynasty. Well, this looks like the sign says Shady Nasty. It's She Dynasty.
Dynasty.
I love that bit.
I feel so bad for Larry. It's just keeps getting used by people.
Oh, She Dynasty.
Oh, shit, Dynasty.
I like that bit.
I don't know what that bit is.
Oh, it was. I don't even know. Was it a Sunny in Philadelphia thing? I think it was in a Sunny in Philadelphia bit where someone dedicated a bar's name to like an old flame they had,
There's
Dynasty,
Gumshoe.
but when you actually spell it out on like a big sign, it looks like it says Shady Nasty.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, I found Gumshoe. Hey,
Woo!
Detective Gumshoe.
Hey, pal. It's trial today.
Yes? What about the trial?
It was it's kind of shady dynasty in there. Well, I was gonna say good show, but it wasn't really all that.
Well, whatever, Gumshoe.
I apologize for my accent going north and south down the coast. It kind of wiggles depending on how I'm feeling.
It wiggles depending on like who I'm talking to. I got like that chameleon syndrome. I just absorb accents.
I just got back from a trip to, I don't know, someplace in northeast of America, and now I am ready to take on the world. Oh, you did save Mr. Edgeworth, I guess. I just wasn't sure how to thank you, you know?
Just say thank you. Or thanks. Oh, I know how you can thank me. You can bail Maya out of the detention center.
You
That'd
can
be
thank us
cool.
by subscribing, so you'll be able to pick up another episode where I get into a whole like 30-minute thing about, I don't know, a cartoon I really liked, or like, you know, Jurassic Park. Look, let me tell you about the. Okay, so I showed you that meme though about like the person explaining and then the person like sitting down.
Yeah.
That meme, except it's like me explaining the ecological and socioeconomic implications of Jurassic Park and its themes, and it's just like my friend at home. When I got into Jurassic Park, I went like so deep into Jurassic Park that like I started like I found the I watched the movies, and then I listened to part of the original audiobook, and I looked up like theories, and I watched the Telltale game, which I didn't know was a thing until
There's a Telltale
there's
game?
a Telltale Jurassic Park game. Oh, we should play that. And there's what's it call it? There's the Jurassic Park Evolution, which is a video game where it's kind of like a park simulator kind of deal, except specifically with all the properties of Jurassic Park. And I even went into like some of the mobile games. I looked.
A mobile game?
There's a Jurassic Park mobile game that's.
Isn't it like a Jurassic Park version of the Pokemon game?
No, it's more along the lines of.
Where you like capture dinosaurs or some shit?
It does involve a lot of dinosaur capturing, but like the mobile games got kind of wild because they kept expanding their roster, because like it was more of one of those. It was kind of like a card collecting style game. And because of that, they had to keep expanding, so eventually they expanded into like, well, we're gonna have an entire, like, part of the rock, paper, scissors thing is we're gonna have, like, land dinosaurs, air dinosaurs, and sea dinosaurs. So we're gonna need to expand way outside of what counts as a dinosaur for our aquatic build. So, you know, we're gonna have Megalodon, we're gonna have some kind of Plesiosaurus, Ichthyosaurus, we're gonna have I don't know, coelacanth, no, not a coelacanth, those aren't very big, but they kept expanding, so they're like, yes, you can get a mammoth in this game. Like, the rules, they just threw everything out there. And one thing that I always get really into when I talk about Jurassic Park is just how close, like how little bits of it, the movies are like so obvious with some things, and occasionally you'll get like a glimpse of a much deeper, more detailed universe from something very, very simple. Like just the design of the Indoraptor from the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is so good. I really like it.
Yeah, I'm not into Jurassic Park, like, at all.
We should do. I should put together
like I've watched some of the movies.
I'll put together like a PowerPoint, and then I'll share it with you on like, okay, so here are the themes of Jurassic Park. Here's what we pick up. Here's some little bits I picked up from the video games, the audiobook, and the mobile game.
You don't need to do that.
The thing is, in the mobile game, when you feed each they had to create an animation for each and every dinosaur that you feed. Some of them just are the same, but for the Indoraptor in particular, instead of you just dropping it like a ham or whatever, it's the only creature where it rolls out the food in like a box, and it actually pulls the lever itself to open up the box. It like reaches over with its little dinosaur man hand and like grasps it.
Dinosaur man hand.
Well, that's the thing. The Indoraptor is spooky in that it's not just a big raptor or a small T-Rex or whatever. It's that it is an unnatural creature with a human level intelligence. Not like Blue, who is a smart dinosaur.
Apologize if the mic picked that up. I was drinking water.
The thing is, the Velociraptors, for the most part,
excuse me.
the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park, most of them were only Velociraptor intelligent, which is basic pack hunters. Blue is an exception. Sorry. What?
Wrap it
Blue,
up.
Blue was an exception in that it was like dog level intelligent, where it wouldn't just immediately bite you as soon as you showed any kind of weakness. That's what made it go from dinosaur into actual companion. But the Indoraptor took it a step further, and they're like, ah, yes, this thing is kind of like a dinosaur, but I think it has a little man in it. It's like a little. It walks around like a little golem, not a golem, a golem. It has a certain amount of restraint to it.
This is my golem named Gollum.
It has a level of human-like restraint to it, where like there's this one scene where instead of like jumping out at the bars or whatever, like someone's backing up next to its stall, and it just sort of delicately reaches its hand out and like touches their hair, and they turn around all frightened, and then it reaches back. Like, yeah, it's so, that is perfect. That is precisely what the entire theme of Jurassic Park should have been. Like, look, I think they're gonna make another Jurassic Park movie, and they're finally gonna get around to the idea they pitched like 5 years ago, which is, hey, what if we make like what if we make some weird body horror like dinosaur ogre men? I think that's where they're gonna be heading, and I'm all for it. I really want to see how this thing unfolds.
Huh.
I mean, you're just gonna have a Dinotopia where the regular biomes
I do not
are gonna
have
get...
this flair for Jurassic Park. I really could not care less about the franchise. Like, I am so uninterested in it. Like.
Well, we'll have to put a pin in that, because I can't spend another like half hour being like, yeah, but here's the thing about Jurassic Park that you don't seem to get.
Dude, that's like me trying to explain One Piece to someone who just doesn't like anime.
Well, no, see, in One Piece, you gotta understand that the thing about One Piece is that everybody has a treasure, but it's not about the treasure. It's the concept of a treasure. It's what they value in life.
No. One Piece is an actual treasure. Oh,
hold on. The One Piece is a treasure, but the theme of the show, which is primarily like friendship, also one of the recurring themes is treasure on a subjective level, is when someone has something that they value for personal reasons, such as a plot of land or a boat, or a best friend, or a relationship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the. I don't know about the sub, but in the dub, they're a little obvious about it, where it's like, this thing was my treasure, and I'm like, I can see that now.
Yeah. Detective Gumshoe? Any idea that I've read that line should not have been read like that? Should have been like.
Detective Gumshoe?
Detective Gumshoe? I don't know what I was... Like, I didn't realize it was a question until I had gotten to the second part of it, so it was like, Detective Gumshoe?
Imagine how short, like, Scooby-Doo episodes would be if they had, like, a ton of forensic equipment. Where they were like, we were chased by a ghost, and it's like, yeah, I did some swabs, and left behind a residue that I confirmed is, like, a cheap kind of rubber. Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty
a radar
short.
scan through this area.
Any idea what strategy Von Karma is planning for tomorrow?
It sounds like he's bringing in another witness.
Another witness? Another witness?
Yeah, well, didn't they say that there was another witness? That was one of the...
Yeah, they did mention that. Oh, right, he said something about that in the trial today. So let's have a flashback sequence. Is that really necessary? There were two... Oh, that was your line.
There's an ongoing theme in these trials, which is that, like, there's usually one or two like wild cards that absolutely will not be talked about in depth until they're revealed. Where it's like, yes, there might be another person in the scene that day, and you're like, who was it? Like, we're not gonna tell you.
Yeah. I was wondering who that other witness was.
Oh, sorry.
I
thought that was my
I thought
line.
it was gonna be your line too. Who was it?
I was gonna ask you the same thing. Sorry, pal. That's that's an Act 3 kind of deal. As much as I'd like to, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. I'd like to help you, but I can't.
I would like to tell you that the witness
I'd
is
like to tell you that
Larry
I accidentally
Butts.
dropped a document that has their face and name on it.
I would like to tell you that this person's name is Kevin Smith and that it's spelled K-E-V-I-K-E.
And I would like to remind you that it would be definitely...
he hands him a paper and pencil and is like tapping on the paper K-E-V.
No, and he takes a lighter out of his pocket. I'd like to let you know that it would definitely be a bad idea to destroy this sort of evidence once you found it, because this was made as an extra copy and therefore doesn't exist on the records anyway.
Hands him with a solid gold lighter that he got as a gift from
Hands him the
Grossberg.
lighter. It's a recurring theme. This lighter is just the
lighter
gold...
just keeps getting passed around from one person to another.
It's the gold coin version. It's the John Wick gold coin,
like
except it's a lighter.
It's like the lawyer hood of the traveling golden lighter.
No, it's just John Wick's gold coin, except it's a big golden lighter. You just like have to pass it to a person. They're like, ah, yes, part of the secret.
Yeah. Right. I'm sorry, ma'am. I know you're upset. Hey, real quick, can we go back to Sky High for a minute? So,
Okay.
like, at the beginning of the movie,
Yes.
the lady friend who controls plants and shit, and like her mom, I think, talks to animals or something, and the lady like offers her eggs and bacon for breakfast, and she's like, "Oh no, thanks. You know how my mom can like talk to animals? Turns out they don't like being eaten." And I was thinking about that, and I was like, so you're one of those people. And then I was like, wait a minute. Okay, even if you could talk to animals, they're not, like, a lot of them aren't very intelligent. Like, this was brought up in one of the X-Men comics. I can't remember who this character was, but it was like, yes, I can talk to this pug person, but like, it's a pug. Like, he can't tell me the name of the person that ransacked a house. All he knows is that he lives near the good tree and that he loves his family.
He lives near the good tree. That's where the good tree is.
Like it's a pug.
I was gonna say it. No, a more similar one was the fact that Aquaman eats fish.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, don't you like talk to fish? Well, he's at like a little cafe by the what's it, like an oceanside cafe, and he like orders like fish sticks or something, and they're like, don't you like talk to fish? I always figured you were like vegetarian. And it's like, oh no, I mean I could communicate sort of on a basic level with fish, but it's more like a signal than an actual like conversation.
Yeah, like they're fish. It's not like they have
turns
a
out-
lot to talk about. Their
it
brains
turns
are
out-
like this small.
It turns out fish have some very basic just concept. Except dolphins, they're weirdly racist.
Was that an Aquaman comic?
No, I just added that in.
Because that would be amazing.
Like in
Some dolphins who are weirdly racist.
in Gerf's Bainstorm, there's a buried lead where one of the like little tiny side entries is dolphins. There's a species of sapient dolphins. They look exactly like dolphins. The only difference is that they're fully sapient and form some basic form of society. They speak their own language, which is just through a series of like dolphin clicks and stuff. And apparently, it is full of puns because of how many overlaps there are in their language.
Huh.
And I'm like, oh, neat.
That's pretty neat.
Except for dolphins,
They're weirdly racist.
And let me tell you something about sharks. It's just 30 minutes about like, look, the thing is, people think like sharks are dangerous, but like, one, sharks are carnivores. They're in the ocean. If you're somewhere where a shark is, it's not like a shark came up to you. It's where they live, you know? They're not invading the ocean. They live there. Secondly, it turns out that sharks, one, they're not like dolphins. Dolphins are smart. They're racist, but smart. And Dolphins can tell the difference between a seal and a human. Sharks, not so much. They're kind of like human toddlers. They're not quite sure if something is a seal or not until they put it in their mouth. That's a real thing I learned about sharks a while back. That sharks explore the world with their teeth, and they like they're not. It's possible for them to bite something without actually wanting to eat it out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I mean, that doesn't change what happens like to your leg if you get bit. The difference is that at least it provides some context to why sharks would like bite stuff that isn't even remotely a seal.
Yeah. Oh, right. I wanted to ask you something about Edgeworth.
What's up?
Is he afraid of earthquakes? I never heard anything about that before.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was a thing that happened.
Mr. Edgeworth doesn't talk about himself too much, you see. But there's one thing that's clear as day. He really likes you. I mean, he's him hating crime the way he does, and him becoming prosecutor, and him being scared of earthquakes. I'm waiting on you.
I know.
It all started with that incident. Look, what I'm saying is that I think he clearly he was fighting a villain like the Underminer who can cause earthquakes.
Behold the Underminer!
But somehow they got off scot-free, and so he became a prosecuting lawyer to stop that.
Yeah. Dude, you know how like the first Incredibles movie ended with the Underminers showing up?
Yeah,
and it was like never followed up on in the sequel?
No, it was.
Was it?
Did you not watch the sequel?
Okay, well what I was going to say was that there's
You didn't watch the sequel!
I did watch the sequel, but
No.
I don't remember them talking about the Underminers.
That's like literally the first fight in the movie.
Oh, is it?
Did you miss the first 10 minutes of the movie?
It's been a while, dude.
Okay. Well, yes, they fought the Underminer.
I've seen it once,
Yeah, the
and
Underminer,
it was a while ago.
Yeah, the Underminer
okay, well, there's
shows
an
up.
entire game about that. Like, there's
Yeah, I
an
think
entire
there's-
game that's
which
just
means
you fighting
that the
against
game is
Underminers.
now like a split universe thing.
Oh, I was thinking that it just happened within
Well,
the
no,
same
because they pick
universe.
up right after that happens. So in the game, I think they pick up right after that happens. But in the movie, they also pick up right after that happens, which means it's a split, where the game is like its own like realm.
Well, the game was like all about the Underminers, whereas in the movie it was like, oh, we're fighting the Underminers. Okay, moving on now.
Did you make it plural, Underminers? You kept saying Underminers.
Yeah, because there's more than they're a colony of Underminers.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the split. That's definitely a split because in the movie there's just like the one, and he's just digging under
The first
banks.
movie ended with like a whole bunch of them drilling up. There was more
there's
than one
just one.
Underminer at the end of the first movie.
There's just one.
No, there wasn't.
Okay, everyone, comment below how many Underminers there were at the end of Incredibles 1.
Okay, how about after we're done with the stream, we go and look up the ending scene to the first movie? That's what I'm gonna do.
Because there was one Underminer. I remember
There was
there
an
being-
Underminer leader, but there was like...
My guess is that your concept of it is different because you saw the game, and in the game there was probably like a whole bunch of other Underminers.
But I'm like 75% sure that at the end of the movie, there was more than one Underminer, because it was a group of them.
Well, that's what you'd think from the machine, but like in Incredibles 2, it's just like him running this like giant machine.
Well, maybe they just glossed over the rest because they were only focusing on the fight with the main guy.
I don't know. Does that mean there's just a bunch of spare Underminers just
I
wandering?
don't know.
They're just
I'm
wandering around, getting into fights.
I don't know. I'm
with raccoons.
confused now. The DL6 incident?
Yep, that's the one. 15 years ago. He saw his father shot before his very eyes. He was shot in an earthquake.
And then he went and started dressing up as a bat, and now he fights crime.
No, he dressed up like a Victorian boy.
Like Victorian who?
Like an old-timey Victorian man.
Yeah, but like, that's only by day. By
Oh.
night, he dresses
By
up like
by
a bat.
night, he dresses up like a sleepy Victorian man in some old-timey pajamas and a little cap and a little like thing that holds the candle.
Nah, he's Batman.
So he's not sleepy Gary?
Sleepy Gary from Rick and Morty. I forgot about him.
Well, I was gonna say he's the most like recent reference I can think of to old-timey sleepy person as like a concept.
He's just constantly tired.
Yeah, he's just old-timey sleepy person.
Old-timey sleepy person.
He still feels the pain now.
And
see it in his eyes.
He and Jerry were in love with each other, and that was a whole thing.
You know, we never did. So here's the thing. That was like a whole like gag thing, but I feel like it was glossed over that like Jerry should be considered canonically bi, but like because like we know that the thing modifies like memories. It doesn't change like someone's entire like sexuality or whatever. Like,
well, I mean, maybe
as far as
we know, maybe it does. I don't know. Huh? I wonder what this button does. Oh, I'm gay now.
I'm bi now.
Huh? That's from ASDF.
That really opens up my dating pool.
What's that?
That really opens up my dating pool.
Yeah.
Activate.
Oh, that's you.
That's my line. I read that line.
Oh. Maya-Faye. I wanted to talk to you about Maya-Faye.
Don't you worry about Mia-Faye. Let me worry about Mia-Faye. Or wait.
Mia.
Which one
Maya.
were we asking about?
Maya.
Oh,
the one we're asking
sure.
about. Mia's the sister.
Yes, Maya-Faye.
I know. I get them mixed up too.
You get them mixed. She's not out on bail yet. That's strange. Told them to let her go as soon as they had their report written up. Man, I don't know what would have happened in the courtroom today if it weren't for her. Seeing her get dragged out by the bailiff. Oof. I'll be honest with you, pal. I shed a tear or two.
Bailiff comes in and they just start like beating her down.
No.
And, like put the handcuffs on her.
No.
Down the ground!
No.
How fucked up would that be?
That's not a joke.
That would be...
No.
No! It would be a very fucked up situation.
I was gonna set it up for... I'll be honest with you, pal. I shed a tear or two, and then we'd have the editor sort of Photoshop Gumshoe's face with that, the FMA, the Full Metal Alchemist, like, hat, and he's like, "It is a terrible day for rain." You know what's funny? I actually got far enough in like the first season that I saw that scene. Now I get the context.
Dude, Full Metal Alchemist was great,
scene.
but I liked the Brotherhood, the remake one, a lot better.
I was actually referring to Brotherhood.
Brotherhood I like better simply because it concluded? The original series just kind of like was left open-ended, and then it had a movie which I never saw.
I don't think I haven't mentioned this on the show, but the fact that like Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, hey, Gremlinda, Gremlinda is back.
I'm guessing.
Yeah,
yeah,
dude, it's been a while. All right. Geesh, Lamau, you guys are arguing as usual. Good stuff. Hey, she likes arguments. Wait, hang on, real quick, Gremlinda. So, throwing this out to you, since like you're here and watching this, where after we're
oh yeah, no, they can go and look this up right now. Are there extra Underminers at the end of The Incredibles 1? Is there just one, or are there multiple minors?
I was actually going to tell her about the switching of the channels, which is super important.
Oh, I thought we were gonna do that.
Well, we'll do that after. So like, when we're done with Phoenix Wright, we're going to like get a different name for our channel. Well, it's more like we're going to switch to another channel, and it's called Peopleorians, and it's PEEP.
Just type it on the chat.
Yeah. So, not anytime soon, but like after we're done with this game, we're gonna switch to that, because like this was kind of like my personal channel, and now that we're doing like a co-host thing, we're doing a co-host channel. So, when we're done with this game, we're going to this channel, Peopleorians. So, you know, keep that in mind. Put that in your bookmark that for going to lot 2 later. And yeah. So that's our big news for tonight. Anyway, Underminers. How many Underminers showed up at the end of the first Incredibles movie? That's what we were arguing about.
That's what our debate is about. I was saying that it was 1, and that at the start of Incredibles 2 it's 1. He was saying, I don't know, what was your claim on the Incredibles 2?
Hang on a minute.
Seem to forget that the Underminer was even in Incredibles 2.
Hang on a minute. Okay, but you guys mean after you're done with the first game or the trilogy? After this game, we're going to do the next 2 on the Peopleorians channel.
After we're done with the trilogy, you know.
After we're done with the trilogy, in like 2 years. But yeah, after this game. We also have a YouTube channel We don't have anything on the Peopleorians YouTube because we're not on that yet on the Twitch, but we do have the episodes on my personal YouTube channel, which has the same name as this. So if you want to go back and watch all the previous episodes, you could pretty much start on where Chapter 2 starts, because that's kind of where we got better at our comedy, I think. Throughout the first chapter of Phoenix Wright, we were like still trying to.
I mean, that was before we physically like met up and stuff.
Yeah,
so
that was before
dialogue was a little delayed.
We started that off on like when we were online. So, but yeah, so yeah. She says, "Gotcha. Okay, Gremlinda, you are a beautiful person." But yeah, so we were arguing over whether or not there was just one Underminer in The Incredibles, or if there was like more than one. Because I thought there was more than one Taylorson. There's only one, and
my supporting evidence for that you may have forgotten is that my thing is that there's one at the end of Incredibles 1, and that's where Incredibles 2 picks up. Whereas when you were talking about Incredibles 2, I feel like you missed the first like few minutes of the movie because you didn't seem to remember that the Underminer was in the Incredibles.
That doesn't mean there was only one Underminer, because I very mostly remember that. Because look, man, I may have forgotten that the Underminer was in the second movie, but I watched that first movie like 100 billion times when I was a kid. So I am 75% sure that there was more than one Underminer.
If you are correct, sir, that means that.
Well, hang on.
If you are correct, sir, it means that what they left off on, they expected everyone to remember the Underminer, like 10 years later, just not that there was like backup Underminers.
Well, I know that there was a video game about the Underminers.
And what I was saying is that my guess is that you saw the video game, and in that the Underminer would have a bunch of minions, because otherwise it'd probably be kind of
a very
basic
short game.
Yeah, it'd be a very short game.
Anyway, so that's what we were arguing about. Did you read that? Oh yeah, you did.
Mr. Edgeworth, I was so moved. I saw his lip trembling.
Really? Cold as ice, Edgeworth?
That's what they call him. He's really grateful for what she did, I'm gonna head back to the station. I'll get the report on my end. And get her out of there as soon as I can.
Thanks, bruh. Thank you. Thanks, bruh. Much appreciated. Oh, wait. I was wondering, how much is bail going to be?
Don't worry about that. Don't even worry about it. Mr. Edgeworth is posting the whole amount.
The whole amount? Gremlinda says this sounds like a possible Mandela effect, dramatic chipmunk look. Dun, dun,
okay, hold on. Getting back to the Mandela effect, this actually comes full circle, because I was gonna say the best, like, whenever someone talks about the Mandela effect, they always talk about like Nelson Mandela, and they talk about the Berenstain Bears thing, but the weirdest thing is that nobody brings up Full Metal Alchemist, which is a perfect example of that just being an overlap, because when I was a kid I remember Full Metal Alchemist sort of.
Right.
Because that was the original run of it on, I think it was either Cartoon Network or Adult Swim or Tsunami, I think. And so I remember bits and pieces and references to it and stuff like that. And then when I got older, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was out, and I was like, wasn't this a thing? I thought we thought we did this. We did this like years ago, right? And so I'm like, how do I remember so many bits and pieces of this thing that just came out? Oh. It turns out that it did exist, but the weirdest thing is how it's not like a movie with like a soft reboot sequel or a soft reboot or whatever. It's that like they both started in the same place but like diverted completely.
Yeah, because I think the Brotherhood was supposed to follow the manga more, because because I actually like looked up stuff on the show. Back when I was in high school, one of my big things was that I would always be looking up Wikipedia articles about whatever I was into, whether it was like anime or comic books or whatever. Mm-hmm. And one of them was like Full Metal Alchemist, and it was like, oh, in the movie, Bradley's kid was actually a homunculus, and I was like, what?
There was the movie?
No, in the not in the movie.
In the movie?
In the anime. And then it was like,
I
oh
would
yeah,
not be
and-
surprised if there was like a Full Metal Alchemist movie that had like 2 viewers ever.
but yeah, and it was
There's always like an anime movie that like just is out there that.
yeah. And then it was like, yeah, and also Bradley's kid was a homunculus, and I was like, what? Oh, and Ling Yao was a person from Xerxes. What the fuck is Xerxes? And it's just like a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't in the original series. So when Brotherhood came out, I was like way into it. I was like, oh yes, this is what the manga was. And I liked it a lot better simply because, for one, it concluded, and for two, it had Ling Yao, who I actually really like.
Quick question, because you probably know more about FME than I do. So you always need a transmutation circle unless you've seen the truth.
Yeah.
Which is the vision of the
Right.
What's it called? But does that mean that can you get like a tattoo of a transmutation circle and just use that? Because that seems like it'd be really convenient.
I think there actually were characters that did that.
Yeah, I
throughout
would
the
have
series.
that. I'd have it printed on my socks. Just,
Yeah.
Because like what's like you can't. There's no drawback to having them with you because your worst case scenario, you're fighting someone else who's just either using their own transmutation circle or they can use it without it.
I think Kimberly actually had a transmutation circle tattooed onto each of his hands, so he would just like touch things and they'd explode.
So like Gambit, can he do that with the cards?
Probably, if you want to do.
And I really
I think
like.
it's less about.
I really like that it sort of had this Magitech aesthetic of like it's kind of like World War I
Wait.
technology. They have like radios.
Yeah, but like the whole like Gambit thing. I don't think it's quite the same because Gambit is more like I imbue things with kinetic energy and then they blow up. But with Kimberly, it's more like I just blow shit up. I blew it up. God damn you, what the hell? But yeah, what? Edgeworth?
Didn't I? Oh yeah, I have one more FMA question.
Give me another.
So we
FMA
know
question.
that. Okay, so within the general canon of the universe, it's not only a bad idea, but also like super illegal to try to like try to either summon humans or mix humans with monsters.
Oh yeah, no, that usually ends in horrible mutations.
Yeah,
and
but here's my
shit.
question: can you safely mix animals with other animals? Because that seems like it would be fair game. Where you're just like, okay, and now we got a flying cat.
You
You know?
probably could, because I know that within FMA you can bring a dead bird back to life simply because like they're not as complex as humans.
Yeah, so like.
Humans you can't do because they're like on a higher form of like intelligence, I guess, and like I don't know, something about
to do with mysticism.
yeah, something to do with mysticism. There was a whole arc where this horrible father person tried to fuse his daughter with a dog.
Well, yeah, and I actually got
which was
that far, so
terrifying.
now I understand like all those references.
Yeah, that's why whenever
but-
you see like that picture and people are like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, but the thing, which by the way, it's actually a lot less shocking when you've seen like 1,000 memes of it, and it's just like, yes, I get it.
Yeah.
Like what? It's not the moment, it's the journey.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is that it's like, I'd feel like not only would there be an entire like department of hybridization, like who's just like, yes, ratbirds, but you'd have an entire department that overlooks that department. That's just the Department of Ecology, where it's like, no, stop making ratbirds.
Well-
You're going to destroy the entire ecology.
My theory on that is either that people kind of unanimously decided that was just super fucked up and
Maybe it
refrained
was
from it,
more difficult than
or
they say.
it was so much in the early stages of like experimentation, like with Shu Tucker and all that, that they just haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing it's got to be. Maybe it's kind of like genetic experimentation in real life, where it's super rare, just because like you need like a big, huge research grant to do it and everything, and the only way that you can, when it's done, the few times that it is done, out of that handful, there's just going to be one person who's like a supervillain and tries to use it to make more humans.
Yeah, there's probably like some future version of FMA where there's like a whole secret organization that specializes in like fusing animals, and it's like some black market shit.
Well, they do that, and then they make dinosaurs that end up escaping the park, and then they have to be, and then all those agents are never brought to justice. So then they have to get one guy who's really good at killing, who turns out he's actually a genetic experiment to create the ultimate killing human, and he's bald and he's got a barcode on his head. Look, what I'm saying is that the Hitman series and Jurassic Park have a surprising amount of overlap.
What I'm saying is
thematically.
what I'm saying is that everything comes back to Vampire Bloodlines.
What I'm saying, this is the situation where it doesn't come back to Vampire Bloodlines.
Oh no, there's a way to tie it back
I
to
should make a big
Vampire
diagram
Bloodlines.
showing that you can't mix Vampire Bloodlines with the Jurassic Park thing, simply because Vampire Bloodlines hates the idea of actually combining like genetics and stuff. I mean, if you could just combine the vampire clans, you just have really cool vampires that would have like no particular weaknesses, which would be great for vampires. But it's just the heads of the clans themselves would be like, "Ah, no, you can't do that. Stop! I need to be the biggest bad in the room." Didn't I tell you? It all comes back to Vampire Bloodlines. He's grateful to her for what she did.
Chipmunk turns around with the dramatic music. Dun, dun, dun! Except the chipmunk has like vampire fangs.
I got a license here that says I can do what I want. You just have a piece of paper that says Vampire Bloodlines. I think it's funny how it's been like at least 10 years since I played a port of that game that was refitted so you could act. He's grateful to her for what she did. I should really watch a playthrough of it or something.
I've never played Vampire Bloodlines.
I will if I find a YouTuber who's got like a good cover of it. I'll link it to you.
Yeah.
Because I imagine that there's probably not a lot of playthroughs of it, simply because you have to.
Like a ghost. Graham Linda says, "I'm hyped for the sequel of Bloodlines. Hope it still comes out this year." There's a sequel to Vampire Bloodlines?
Look, it all comes back to Vampire Bloodlines.
Oh no!
It comes out and it's mysteriously very similar to Jurassic Park. Oh no! Why can't I hold all these themes?
Well, that's awesome. Is it gonna be on PS4?
I hope.
Because if so, then like I'll probably play it.
That Keanu Reeves is in it.
Man, I like Keanu Reeves.
I like Keanu Reeves on the multiple levels. I like him as a person and as an actor. I like when he shows up and stuff.
Yeah.
I like that he's like one of the only guys in Hollywood who actually like dates women around his own age. Super weird when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, if I was someone Keanu Reeves' age, I'd be like, oh, yes, I would like someone who's, like, emotionally mature on, like, my level, who, like, understands what I understand.
Well, okay, but, like, how much are we talking, though? Because my grandparents are, like, 10 years apart, so...
That's, like, 10 years apart, but not, like, half their age, or whatever.
Oh, yeah, no, that would be weird. Gremlinda says, either play or watch a Malkavian run. That's the most fun. They're insane. Hallucinate. Hallucinate.
No.
Their dialogues are all funky and messed up. The whole gameplay is wacky. Yeah, it will come for PS4. There's action. There's a ton of gameplay trailers. Check it out later.
I will check it out later. And although I want to agree with you, the thing is, the advice is always to never play the Malkavian on the first time around. Basically, because when you're playing Malkavian, it's like playing Vampire Deadpool, which sounds great. Not
amazing.
His powers, his like personality, the concept that you'll like break the fourth wall or just like mess things up. But the problem is that you're not going to get the themes of the game if you play Malkavian the first time around. So you play it and then you're like, okay, now I'm going to do the goof mode.
Huh.
At least that's the advice I got when I looked that up. Because I was like, I can't decide. I think I played as a Tremere. I played as one of the magic-y ones, but then...
Off topic, can you please buy Borderlands The Handsome Collection so we can play the second game together?
Can we play the second game together?
Yeah, we can.
Is that a thing?
If you buy it, the Handsome Collection,
I don't know if it's
it'll have the second game and the pre-sequel. And the third game is great to play together, but like, and the Borderlands 2, you can play as Krieg, and like, why would you not want to play as Krieg?
The most I can promise is that I will look up a playthrough of it to see if it's something I would actually play.
Dude, you know how Borderlands 3...
Back when you were playing Borderlands 2, I think. Back when you were playing it, I was thinking of getting into it, but it just didn't have as much like dialogue bits as I wanted.
Well, not from the main characters.
So So what
But
I was so what I was thinking of is that I would probably want to watch like one of those things that like puts all the pieces together and it's like this is blah and they do this thing and they have an important to the story and it's something more interesting than what I just said.
so
Like
you
basically like a
don't want to
breakdown.
play it if there's no like
I really like.
dialogue for the main
I feel
characters,
like
but you're totally cool with any Elder Scrolls game where the main character doesn't talk at all.
not the main characters. I'm talking about the like all the characters you meet along the way.
Well, yeah, dude, the main appeal to Borderlands 2 is the characters you meet along the way.
Yeah, I never picked it up though. You
Well,
know.
pick it up, and you'll meet a lot of amazing characters, and you'll have a great time. And I can play Krieg, and you can see my Krieg build, and you can have the character that's
And and I'll be playing the Gunmancer. I
yeah,
can summon
be
a
the
gun.
Gunzerker,
No, the Gunmancer.
the Gunmancer. Anyway, just get it. Gremlinda says, yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Sure, it is really goofy. That's true. But yeah, just get the Handsome Collection. Just get the Handsome Collection so that we can
I
stream the
wonder.
second game together.
I wonder what if there's a what's the word, a consensus on like favorite classes to play in each game. I played Amara and Borderlands 3 and I tried out like multiple builds just to like try them out. And as much as I love the melee builds, I think that at full power it needs to have a little more like reach. That way you actually are like running around and punching stuff.
Flack is my main
Oh,
non-binary robot person.
make it that
They're
the
awesome.
switch time between melee and drawing your weapon is like basically nothing at high level. That way, when you're transitioning from like a melee like leap where you just go rush across the room and punch someone, you can immediately hit the next person, like John Wick style.
That'd be cool. Maybe I can get Edgeworth to pay this month's rent too. Maybe I can get Edgeworth to play Borderlands with me. That'd be awesome. Can we just like have a whole filler episode where Phoenix is just gaming online with Larry
Now I'm getting
and Edgeworth?
now I'm thinking about like Persona 5 and how like it's got every layer of cinematic. It has the cinematic that's just the scene with people playing doing dialogue but without you moving around. It has the cinematic where it's a custom like camera angles and animations and the characters are rendered. And occasionally, it'll have a cinematic that is literally all the characters as an anime in anime style, like they actually animated it 2D,
Huh.
which it's very few and far between. But I keep forgetting. I'm like, oh yeah, I keep forgetting like these characters in an anime game get to be 100% anime during the cinematics. And I was thinking something like that, but with Phoenix Wright, where I'm just imagining them, except like instead of sprites, they're actually just like moving around and stuff.
That'd be cool.
Hey, Nick, you finally came.
Phrasing.
They just famished the. No, they just finished the paperwork. I'm free to go. Also, I ate some paper.
Why did you?
I was famished.
What the fuck? I have an extra stomach for paper.
I have extra paperwork for stomachs.
Free at last, eh?
These interrogators were really mean. They were like, okay, what did you do this time? Oh, because he was in there once before.
Oh yeah.
Like I was some kind of criminal. Can you believe it?
Well, they let you out in the end, didn't they?
That's the thing, is that they would recognize her from the previous thing, but they didn't necessarily like see how the trial went.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, "Oh yeah, do you like a bad guy?" It's like, why would I be here from being the assistant of a lawyer if I was in prison the first time?
Meanwhile, there's Gumshoe over here, like, hey, it's that murderer Larry dude, whatever his name was. Except he kept calling him by a different name. It was like Terry or Gary or something.
Well, look, he eventually.
Or was it? No, it was Harry. He kept
He eventually
saying Harry.
did become a scourge upon Neo Tokyo. He just became the butts stabber. He's gonna stab your butt.
If something smells, it's usually the butts.
The weirdest thing about that phrase is how like it was like that was a phrase that they said because he got into trouble, but I don't think he's in trouble. Like it turned out like he wasn't getting into trouble, and that was a thing that from back in like high school. it was kind of, it felt weird because it was like, here's
Well, I
this.
mean, that's just a thing that he never outgrew.
Yeah, that was a, because like I
I
feel
mean,
like
and you know, people probably don't say that in general about him now because, like, the only person who knows him now are Phoenix and Miles is so much of a stick in the mud that I don't think he has a sense of humor.
if they
So
did
he
they go to the
probably doesn't
same
indulge in
did
stuff
they
like
go to the
that. So
same
it's probably just Phoenix that's always like, if something smells, and like he's the only one
what do
because
you what if they went to the same college together too, and Larry just like they went to the same like university and Larry just got like a general studies.
I could see that.
Yeah, that seems like a thing. Oh, that reminds me. Thanks for the bail.
Thank Edgeworth.
Huh?
He posted bail for you.
Well, that's your line.
Uh,
I was just
oh,
thinking
so,
out
so
loud.
it is. Said, Phoenix, I'm waiting for you to say your line, man. Can you fucking talk so that you can get this dialogue moving,
Language.
please?
I wouldn't say that.
Uh, said he was grateful for that for what you did.
Mr. Edgeworth said that?
Yeah.
I have to make it up to him. We've got to win this case, Nick. I'll make him a cool necklace thing.
I'll make him a cool
I'll make him a
gingerbread
necklace
house.
out of golf balls. It'll look awesome.
Just a necklace made out of golf balls.
I think it's style, like a Titleist one.
What to do?
That is the only golf ball I know about because I saw a mini documentary about why how like the construction of a certain kind of golf ball like changed golf as a sport.
That's more than I know.
Yeah, well, it's because what you put in the golf ball and how its consistency affects how far you can hit it and how accurate it is. Titleist 1 was like it had like multiple layers of rubber that meant that you could hit it far, but it had precision. And the whole thing about that is that if you make a golf ball that's that good, and then a golfer uses it, they can start doing things that weren't supposed to happen in golfing, where it's like, yes, there's a big, banana-shaped bend in the course that I'm supposed to follow, but I'm using a better, a harder, better, faster, stronger golf ball that I can just hit directly into the green on the other side and reducing my overall hits.
We have a kitten in the room, that's why I was saying kitten.
But basically it was like, and to fix this, they just made the golf courses longer. It's like, no, you use a different golf ball. Don't make the golf courses any larger than they already have to be.
Yeah.
I'm tired of golf courses being massive.
I've only ever
Mini
played
golf forever.
I've only ever played miniature golf.
Mini golf would probably be the perfect game to use like the softer golf balls.
It's like that episode of Kids Next Door. Mini golf's kind of dumb. It's not mini golf. It's miniature golf.
I feel like miniature golf should just be the standard golf. That should be like everyone's golf.
Yeah, that's my golf.
It's got more props involved. It's more compact. It uses a lot less water in a massive desert. What do you think we should do next? Thinking mini golf?
Yeah, you want to go play some mini golf? Like,
we play some mini golf. I'll tell you more about Jurassic Park for an hour. We're kind of lacking in the clues department.
Oh yeah, dude. Did you ever play Grand Theft Auto: Ballad of Gay Tony?
No, but I have encountered him in GTA Online.
Oh, well, that's cool.
You meet him after you buy a nightclub.
I actually like Ballad of Gay Tony. And there's like the scene where he like there's like a mission where he has to beat this dude in golf, and Tony's like, man, where did you even learn to play golf? Because he's like not dressed for it or anything, and he's like, right here, right now. Never cared for the sport. Didn't like the clothes. And Gremlinda says, IDK, I feel you guys might change channels earlier. I mean, you're at half game and the last cases are pretty huge too. From the pace this is going, don't get me wrong though. I really don't mind. Was just saying. Thanks Gremlinda, that is some good input. But isn't this like the last chapter?
Yeah, we figured that this was the last chapter.
That's what my understanding was.
Of the first game, anyway.
Yeah, of the first game, because like we would be moving channels before playing the other two games, which you probably wouldn't be immediately moving to. I mean, we might. I don't know. That's down the road. But I mean, we're definitely gonna play them. I just don't know that it would be immediately after this. We might want to take a break from Phoenix Wright and I don't know, play a way out or something. But we'll figure that out later. That's a problem for future Lou Jack and Taylor. Let those assholes worry about it.
So I figure we switched the channel. We're gonna switch.
Yeah,
channels
after this last chapter.
Yeah.
That was our thought process, but yeah.
If there's more chapters, then I think we'll have to switch up our thing. Maybe.
Yeah. Whatever else happens.
Whatever is the last chapter for realsies now.
Lamau, no way, there's still more cases, plural, bigger ones, before the first game finishes. Okay, well then, we will definitely be switching before, after this chapter, at the very least. Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, so, thank you for your input. And for your info. That's good to know.
I think it's almost time to wrap up.
It is. Let's finish this scene here and figure out where we're gonna go, and then we'll call it a night.
Kind of lacking in the clues department. Just wanted to remind you from.
If only we had some sort of clue master.
Well, I do have this computer that can see through sand.
There's a Batman reference and a World's Doctor reference. Check both of those off your list.
How did you solve my puzzles? I have this computer. The Bat computer can see through sand.
Oh, that's not acid. That's just margarita mix. I told you to get the Costco card.
There's this. The Riddler's lair is just like a life-size replica of like the Great Sphinx, except like in concrete. And the front lawn is just topiaries that look like question marks. And it's like, how do they not find these layers?
Layers and layers and layers of flavor. You're lying.
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about sphinxes. We could go to the park and look for Gordy.
What is this, Assassin's Creed Origins?
Wait a minute. Oh yeah, there is. You know, oddly enough, there's no sphinx-like creatures in it. That would have been cool if it was like part of a dream sequence or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in Odyssey you can have a Pegasus, so like,
yeah, in Odyssey there's like.
I think that's actually justified by the fact that you're in a computer program or something. I think the justification for that is like, yeah, well, you know, you're literally playing a computer game, so you just program Pegasus into it.
I guess so.
Or something like that.
I always figured that the Animus was eventually going to cross over with the this completely underrated movie. What was it? Source Code, where they figure out it's like, oh, the Animus can like predict the past, but also like if we make the coding too good, it starts predicting the future of that past, even if you alter it, and it just can get out of hand.
Yeah. And Gremlinda says, well, okay, thanks for the stream, guys. Wish you had more views. It's really fun talking with you. Ah, thank you very much. Oh, and hey, if you like comic books, go check out Watchtower Database on YouTube. Because, like, every time we watch one of their videos, they're like, ah, God, I wish we could, like, actually have this as our job and, like, buy food with it. Support us on Patreon and we can, like, go buy food. Because they don't have a lot of subscribers, and they're really cool people.
But I don't know what I was
so if you like comic books, and you like to watch YouTube videos about people talking about comic books, then go out and subscribe to Watchtower Database, and watch their stuff, because they're great. And Taylor, it's your line.
I was kidding. Still, oh, that's your line. Bro, read your line! Stop looking at the comments for 2 seconds!
She's asking what the name of the channel is again. I'm going to type it out.
We'll never ever finish this
I'm going to
episode.
type out the name of this YouTube channel, and then we'll finish up the scene.
I thought you did, but...
Watchtower Database.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one that we were...
No, she was asking about the YouTube channel I was just talking about.
it's spelled like Watch.
Yeah, Watchtower
Database,
and there you go.
Yeah, it's fairly straightforward.
So yeah. Still, if there are any clues out there, the park's as good as bad as any. What do you say? Shall we head down out there?
Sure, but let's stop for steaks.
Yeah, let's stop for steaks.
And we're gonna stop here.
We're gonna stop here, and Gremlinda says,
late.
"Sweet, thanks, and you're welcome."
And yeah.
And wait, no, not yet. We have to save first. We have to save.
I need to remember that at the end of these episodes, I can't be like, "Oh right, it's time to go," and I gotta pee, because like it's funny when you're here like live, but like I'm gonna go and watch like these old episodes, and it's just gonna be a time capsule of yes, every time I had to go pee. That's just what happened because we're here for like an hour and a half.
Yeah. You gotta
How
pee
do
at
how do
some
like
point.
other streamers do it? Do they just not? Do they just
Well, I mean,
barely
I
drink
don't.
anything?
I think you just have a small bladder because I don't have to pee.
I mean, it's probably that, and it's probably because this is also
And
coffee.
the fact, it's what?
I mean, this is also coffee, and coffee's a diuretic.
Well,
so.
maybe not drink coffee when we're streaming.
It's what keeps me going.
Anyway, Gremlinda, thank you for joining us.
Thank
and
you so
being
much
in
for
the
joining
comment
us.
section, and anyone else that might be here, thank you for being here as well. And seriously, go check out Watchtower Database.
Oh,
They're-
and also,
they're awesome.
stay out of trouble, because I just realized that like we'll upload the video and your name will be immortalized, and if you went and like crashed into someone or something, they'd be like, oh, wasn't that like the Pupilorian's friend? It's gonna be. I mean, that's not how we know you.
Anyway, thank you for being here.
I gotta go back to my long conversation about Jurassic Park. So you see, the dinosaurs.
No
they
more
figured
Jurassic
out-
Park.
Life found a way.
No, shut up. No one wants to talk about Jurassic Park.
So oh man, I wish I knew enough Borderlands lore to like mix it together.
Get the second game.
Honestly,
so we
I don't
can
know.
play.
I don't know if any game has the same themes as Borderlands. I don't really know what main themes I would stick with when it comes to Borderlands.
I will tell you this.
Are we still broadcasting?
Yes, we're still broadcasting because we haven't done the freaking outro.
Ah, yes, the outro, of course. Thank you so much for joining us. I've been Taylor.
I've been Lujak.
That's Lujak with a C. So
Lujak with a
take
C.
care.
Stay awesome.
Have a beautiful day.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.